True. And thank you for asking this question. Also, what trends? I think what I am finding is that we need to work in all areas, because there are positives and negatives in each area, and there is a lot to work, tremendous potential for digital tech.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Actionable ESG Talks series brought to you by AKFI, Actionable Knowledge Foundational Institute, the world's first nonprofit industry consortium committed to bridging the gap between ESG, sustainability, and digital transformation. My name is Isabella. I'm the co-host of this interview talk series here with Manuel, another co-host of this talk series, and our special guest today, Renuka. Welcome, Renuka. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Manuel and Isabella, to inviting me here. And thank you very much for having me. A great pleasure.
Our pleasure too.
Thanks to these talk series, we get to connect with great minds to together discuss the current state and the future state of ESG, sustainability, and digital transformation. And before we start, a little bit about Renuka to our audience. Dr. Renuka is the founder of Global Sustainable Futures, Progress Through Partnership Network UK, which provides leadership to a global network administering multidisciplinary activities and research partnership development platform. And Renuka, it's a problem solver. She loves to dig into real world problems and solve them through a multi-level and multi-dimensional integrated framing of sustainable development. She has been acknowledged by several awards, and recognized as a global leader who has engaged and connected with academics, businesses, individuals, and bringing together global South and global North. And the network, the community that she put up with, it's a vibrant, strategically performing community that attracts enthusiasts like me, like Manuel, like everyone joining us on this topic, like-minded members, coordinators worldwide. The network welcomes diverse sections and society of the world, and is committed to leaving no one behind while contributing to a sustainable future. Thank you so much. Love the work that you are doing, and I think you have the best position to give us an overview of your understanding, your opinion. What's your thoughts? What's the insights in regarding to the state of digital transformation today and sustainability in such a rapidly changing world?
Thank you, Isabella, for the my bio and intro. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. And thank you for this question as well. As we move or advance sustainability, I think digital technology or digital transformation has a big role to play here. As we have seen, technologies have always played a big role in development of our society or our world today, what we are. Mm-hmm. Of course, through this development, we have made few we have made a few mistakes, which we are also suffering of due to the climate change and other things, which we didn't care of. But we are learning from these mistakes now, and I think digital technology is capable of giving us some solution. I won't say all, but some solution to these sustainability pathways going forward. For example, the main challenge with respect to climate change, we have this reduction of carbon emissions. And we cannot reduce anything, or we cannot take actions unless we measure them and act them and reduce them, right? So we need measurements here, and we need to be measuring it accurately to show the impact that we are reducing it, right? So I think in that case, this digital technology plays a very, very big role here. And especially with the digital transformation, we have been able to go across the borders of countries, across the borders of our disciplines, and so on, which is very good here. It's a really good point. However, what I think that digital technology just now in the current state maybe should not be, or should not be fully uh, employed only for automation, or because that impacts our job loss and employment and other things. So we have to keep a balance in where we are applying this digital technology. Also, there is one problem that digital technology are mainly focused on mainstream. We haven't been still uh, able to encompass the inclusion and accessibility with digital technology. So I think there are few drawbacks, but we need to work on them to how to exploit this digital technology to allow us to move forward with our sustainability, and especially the core intention of sustainability of no one leaving behind. I'll stop there. Thank you.
That's really a great introduction. And first, thank you for bringing forward the issue of inclusion and diversity, because seldom I hear digital transformation, inclusion, and diversity in the same sentence. You know, it's so well put together as well. We tend to see digital transformation as being already global and actually helping more on equality and diversity. But the point is very well made. And actually, you know, moving a little bit from digital transformation to innovation, and of course, diversity plays a great role on innovation. We know that we cannot innovate just using a single culture and a single group of people, right? A single part of a country and so on, and having a lot of people left behind. But when you connect digital transformation and innovation, and there are, as you know, a lot of investments, a large number of investments. You know, looking at your work, can you share what corporate executives you work with look at creating value through digital transformation and sustainability? To complete the idea, many times sustainability is referred as a cost center as opposed to a value creation mechanism. So I know it's a long question, but you know, to make it short, value in digital transformation and value in sustainability, are they coming together?
Thank you. Thank you very much. It is something like, I will come to this question definitely, but let me raise one point with the global digital transformation or the digital state of global. Yes, we have been able to make this, and especially internet is the main platform or vehicle of this digital transformation. Wi-Fi or internet or connection that allows us to connect with people around the world. And especially like in this COVID time and others, when we were able to hear the news of the world immediately, we were able to gather the whole world, like globally connect to each other and able to address this problem as quickly as it may not have happened without this digital technology. And especially when we were stuck in the house or homes, we were able to talk to distant people just because of this Zoom or digital technology. So we cannot undermine the benefits of digital technology. And when you talk about call centers and others, I think they work both ways. One is, especially if I'm looking from the carbon emission point of view, people who could afford to offshore their carbon emissions did their call centers in distant countries and try to offset their carbon emissions from there, uh, which was not really a good idea. But at the same time, the developing countries got some benefit as an economic benefit, which has allowed them to connect with the technology, get them this technological knowledge and skills, and made them connected to the other part of the world, other parts of the world. So I think uh, these are especially the pros and cons of the digital technology. And if we are the people who are actually like offsourcing or allowing these platforms to go elsewhere and get a economic benefit or a carbon emission benefit or whatsoever, if they bring these sustainability and governance, as your point is ESG, if they bring these three areas within that activity, then I think it would be a real win-win project for everyone, like really winning time. Because then if they ask or allow the call center to look after their environmental impact, make some arrangements of having social inclusion and diversity within that call center, and also have a proper governance, and also maybe make them part of their economic benefits, then this would change. Like people will not say that it is not having any value. So it is up to the people who are knowledgeable, and who are allowing that type of industry to grow, to embed ESG within the design of that industry, design of their projects. When they are planning the project, they should embed these ESG values. So now, when looking at the supply chain, you already mentioned me supply chain, and you were right in making some points that on the forefront or the face value of the supply chain, with the looking from the first buyer, it looks very good that they are following some sustainability criterias. But at the back end, or the very down route, or at the end of that supply chain, we find that it is not so. So if so I think a lot of awareness and a lot of education is needed. At the same time, we need to create a support system, ecosystem. The whole ecosystem needs to be optimized with ESG values, where of course compliance is the foremost thing, but also with the social aspects like ethics and health and safety, and work conditions, and many other things where they can bring gender equality, and many other things, like to make it more um, delivering more of ESG criteria. So that is one thing we need to definitely take into account for the big companies. I am actually, I work with, like a supply chain of big industry, and I have found that now there are plenty of big industries looking for the whole supply chain to be more and more sustainable, and they have these criteria, they have all these tools and technologies. For example, EcoVadis, they can go through EcoVadis and assess their supplier, whether what they have in place, and then help them to develop. I don't know whether they are still directly, like have taken this initiative of helping them directly, but there is a pressure for supply chain to become more sustainable. Um, However, at the same time, we have in UK especially, we have 99% of businesses which are SMEs, so they are very nearly micro or micro or very small industries, and so they think that a small industry will not do much impact, and so they do not care. Or why should they do, because ultimately they have to just be a supplier to a big company, and they do not have to worry. But I think there is a lot of potential to encourage and educate these SMEs to uplift their knowledge, increase their knowledge about this. And how easy, first of all, I would say it is easy to embed these all things. It is not so hard, but you need to make your mind, you need to commit to do this. Then you will be able to grow on this one. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, a couple of, going in a couple of different directions, but at AKFI, we're actually working on a white paper. We're just collecting information from companies on this impact of the supply chain that you just mentioned. And we talked about this need to transfer knowledge, to transfer methods, to transfer processes down to the supply chain. One, just as a footnote, but one of the challenges is how you exchange data between the whole supply chain, because of course each large company has its own IT department, his own IT history, and so on. But I see behind you the sign of the global sustainable future. Can you give us a reading of the future? Where are we going? Do you feel positive about it? Are we making progress? There is a lot of noise we should recognize around, especially ESG, especially lately with the financial conditions changing. ESG seems to come under questions as well.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Global Sustainable Futures was my initiative. The whole name is Global Sustainable Futures Progress Through Partnership Network. It was initially started to help early career researchers. I'm a researcher, basically I'm a researcher, so I was interested in, connecting with early career researchers and increasing their capacities to understand climate change, sustainability, and especially from the global south to connect with global north. They have ample of, potential to contribute to climate change, but they do not have a platform, a free and open platform to connect with international forum. And I found that when I was visiting Brazil, and so I championed there to start with UK and Brazil Partnership Forum, which was just free, and we started through WhatsApp. And then I was called by Future Earth to talk on, to be in a meeting and just to give a snapshot of capacity development to early career researchers in Africa. And they also said that after this event, we will be again going home, and we will forget about this. There's no way to be connected with you and so on. And I said, okay, let us expand this with Africa. And that's how it started. And then it became global. And today I have 2,200 coordinators from 140 countries. They are now, after having early career researchers, we wanted to connect with senior researchers, businesses, and individuals who are passionate about sustainability and so on. And it went very well, and we have now a very good mixture of everyone in our, like every stakeholders, I would say, but we do not have many policymakers yet. This forum, or you can say network, is just free for anyone to join. There is no charge, and also it is just to contribute willingly. There is no pressure of joining these and making activities. It is up to you what you want to take out of this network. So you do activities and you own the network. That is what I think was very helpful for encouraging no one leave behind. So anywhere in the world. However, what I have seen, that we have tried to work with plenty of people in low and medium income countries. Uh, Sometimes they do not have network, and when they have networks, they do not have electricity. If they have electricity, they do not have appropriate apparatus or hardwares to use it. So these, and when they have something to write, they are not allowed, or I won't say allowed, but the conditions put by the publishers and others does not allow them to write and publish, in the sense of there could be some economic, they have to pay something,
Mm.
or they have to qualify that whether you have done one paper or not, or something, anything like that does not allow them to publish in internationally and go into like a list of acknowledged writers or something like that. And so we have mainly focused, wherever we can support each other, we do, but we have mainly focused on social media, so at least they can. And therefore I'm very grateful with social media as well, as a digital technology, allowing us to, a free movement of our, at least, thoughts can be done. However, I know there are plenty of drawbacks also within that social media and the analysis going behind the IT, the people and other things, where you are again confined to what post comes to you and what you read,
Sure.
and so depending upon your likes and other things, and that also is a bit of challenge in this IT area. So I will stop here. And just the last thing, that with this network, I have been able to connect to people like you, which has been very, very, advantage, or very high value to all other network people, in the sense of all the other coordinators, and they have been able to connect to each other and so on. So like, they have definitely, the impact is very, very good here. We have been able to increase the individual profile, company profile, and also our publication profile. Last year we presented in pre-COP for 4.5 hours, non-stop series from all over the world. 24 people join us. Last year also I did an annual conference where 35 people join us for 6.5 hours, like spoke, but there was footfall of 70 people at all the time. Coming month, in 9 and 10 December, we are again doing our annual conference, which we have already set up a lot of speakers who are going to come and speak on our platform. So I think whatever we can do in a voluntary time, and we are trying to contribute towards the sustainability discourse.
Well, you mentioned a couple of things. First, and foremost, volunteers, and the fact that anytime this kind of initiative takes off, and when you reach, really a size and an annual conference and continuous activities, it's a lot already. Please send me how to join this, and I'll post it to our groups as well, for other people. So after the meeting, please send us an email. And thank you. I hope we're helping. We are volunteers based. We are intern based organization, and each of our intern actually has. I'll take the rest of the conversation if I go, but I'll stop for a second at Isabella and her work in digital transformation in the AI. She just wrote a book about the digital mind of tomorrow, and in that book, he's asking us a lot of questions about future. Where is our future going?
Isabella. I only want to make one point, that we also have this series, monthly series, which is run second and third Fridays. which is free for anyone to listen. We also broadcast on YouTube, and we also have our own channel on Pass TV.
Oh, thank you. And again, please share it with us so we can share it with our groups. That's
Yes.
very useful.
Sure.
This is how these groups connect, and this is how they
Yes.
work together.
Yes.
And and looking a little bit at the future, as I mentioned, how how do you see from the global sustainable future? What kind of trends? What kind of things we need to prepare for? What kind of things we achieve? I'm sure the sustainability also has a lot of achievements, although, as you mentioned, media press tends to look at out of ordinary events when they report.
Yes, very true. And thank you for asking this question. Also, what trends? I think what I'm finding is that we need to work in all areas, because there are positives and negatives in each area, and there is a lot to work, tremendous potential for digital technology and also increasing sustainability in every way. There is no limit here. And of course, it is something like, we are talking about elephant in the room. And so everyone, and such connections like networks will only allow us to understand the whole picture, because without talking to each other or without exchanging our dialogues, I think it is not possible. And we have seen in last COP as well that we have to engage with each other a lot, and we should bring in the people who are vulnerable and have been vulnerable so far, and give them a voice to speak, and that should be supported freely and transparently. And that is what I think we need. Yeah, thank you very much.
Do you have, if you have something that comes to your mind that from all these events, what's something that made you feel differently and better about our sustainability chances? I'm sure with all these, networks of people globally, many good ideas are coming up, and as you listen to them, did you pick up something that you want to share?
Oh, thank you. What I have picked up, that many like youth who are innovative and all that, they want to try new ideas. Of course, there are many new ideas, but I think they need to connect with different people, in the sense of different disciplinary people, or the people who are also experienced. At the same time, who are experienced must be ready to absorb the new ideas and apply their knowledge. I think that is a bit missing somewhere, in the sense of, like, young people have their own ideas, and we establish people who might be the people who are established already in their industry have their own ideas, and there's a bit of gap. And individuals, I have come across some individual practices which are very excellent. I feel that everyone should follow such. But again, in a sustainability, we know that it depends on the context and the content of each specific reality in the world, and therefore anything is not replicated. Okay, yes, the magic behind that success may be replicated, and therefore we need to understand that magic. Now what happens, that everyone talks about that success story, but no one is still ready to explain that success story, in the sense magic story, in the sense of how you became this successful, or how you got that product successful. The whole supply chain of the process of becoming that successful product or service, bringing that successful process or service is something like, where did you find the finance, how did you get the people on board, how did you get your information out, what initiatives you had, what incentives you had. All these things need to be explained or captured to understand the process, magic of that process, and then that could be scalable. Now, I'm very excited about only one thing at the moment, where I saw in COP about the announcement of the open source space, which is collecting all the data of the whole inventory of activities in the world. If that inventory, and it is a public good because it is open source, and if that inventory is going to be successful, and if we are getting the correct data, I think we will be able to reap the benefits of the AI and apply it into sustainability. So I think going forward, that should be our pathway. More digital understanding, more sustainability understanding, that would be good.
That's an important note maybe for us to discuss, Isabella, about the use of AI on a global data set of sustainability. That could be quite interesting in terms of using AI in a positive way, making good for people way. Well, we going time is going really, really fast on these conversations. Isabella, I don't know if you would like to add anything. We still have at least one question about going global for Renuka, but maybe you.
Okay, just I found the name. I remember the name. So it is called Climate Trace.
Climate?
TRACE. Trace.
Oh, Trace. Okay.
Climate Trace. You need to look at that platform.
Thank you.
So, it works like that, that one facility, for example, it is emitting some certain amount of carbon emissions. And then in other day, if it is not emitting, that means it is not working. And likewise, they have the inventory of all the facilities, all the activities in the world. And therefore, we can know actually where the source of emission is coming, and what is going, how we can then address it.
Very interesting. When I think of digital transformation and IoT, Internet of Things, this kind of platform can be automated and eliminate, let's call it nicely, the human factor, both positive and negative errors that humans do when they handle data. So we can automate the platform.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you, Renuka, for all your insights. And you mentioned many stuff. So if you have to summarize them into a few key takeaways for our audience today, what would be those in co-creating the future based on shared values and common goals?
Thank you very much. I think we need to be transdisciplinary in the sense of able to understand different perspective and exchange those perspectives with each other and form a new plane of understanding between us. Wherever you get together in a group or in a team, you need to have that first thing is transdisciplinarity between you all, so that you know what is your goal and objectives to be solved. Other thing is that there are plenty of skills to be enhanced for each and everyone, including me and you. There's no limit. And so keep a learning organizational culture. I think that is the biggest want here at the moment, and also be prepared to unlearn which is not working. That is the main message. And also when you are doing any activity, I think become as inclusive and as accessible as you can, so that you can at least contribute to no one leave behind SDG 10.
And unlearning, I found out with some of the students I'm working at Cornell, it's 10 times harder than learning. It takes much more time and effort to think that what you know needs to change. So thank you for bringing this forward as well
Exactly.
in the discussion.
When we say that the world is for young people, I think we should become at least not young by physically, but young by mentally, like mentally young, so that we can absorb new ideas.
Right. We should become Gen Zers regardless of the maturity curve.
Yes.
Thank you, Renuka, for everything you shared today. Very insightful, very helpful, giving us this new landscape of understanding how to co-create the future, to integrate multidisciplinary, multi-dimensional strategies and development plans. Thank you again for taking the time, and thank you to all of our audience for tuning in. Make sure to join us every week for a new episode of AKFI's Actionable ESG Talk series, where you can gain new perspectives and learning how to mitigate risks and create value by integrating digital transformation and sustainability. Thank you so much. Until next week, goodbye for now.
Thank you, Isabella. Thank you very much, Renuka. Really great talk. Hopefully continue. Thanks.